Hey guys, and welcome back to another video of ECK Sports. And today I am going to be grading the MLW draft 1 year later. Now, of course, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you guys hit that like and that subscribe button. Both really help me a lot. I'm going to be making content and yeah, a bunch of stuff. MLW season coming up soon, and I'm doing an MLW video. So I'm going to be taking into account a bunch of things. I'm going to be taking into account production, how he did for his team, and of course, draft position. So let's get into the first overall pick, who was Brendan Jorgensen. Brendan Jorgensen this year hit .265 with 6 RBIs, 1 home run, 13 hits, a .706 OPS. So those offensive numbers aren't great, but the pitching stats are really good. He had 14 Ks with a .95 ERA in 22 innings pitched and a 1.5 WHIP. He was really good. And also, his opponent batting average was .81. So, very good numbers there from Brendan Jorgensen. Now, in terms of the draft position, it wasn't the best, right? But here's my opinion. I think if the Gators did not get Cheetam and Jorgensen, they would not have won the World Series. If the Gators got Jimmy Knorp, they would not have won the World Series. If they got anyone else, because here's the thing. Knorp's bat was a little better, actually, decent amount better than Jorgie was. It's the pitching. Knorp was just not as good of a pitcher as Jorgensen was, and that's really how it was. So that's why I'm going to have him at an A-, because the positional value isn't great, because I feel like he was the 5th best player in this class. I think Cheetam and Jorgensen were the 2 best pitchers in this class, and if the Gators didn't have one of those two, I don't think they would have won the World Series. Alright, now with the number 2, I have Jimmy Knorp, and I am giving him an A. Jimmy Knorp was a fantastic player this year. One of the, probably the biggest fan favorite in MLW. This year, he pitched to a 1.80 ERA in 54 strikeouts and 25 innings. To add along with that, he did have a low batting average against at almost 200, but he didn't walk people. He was 3rd in walk percentage and 4th in K to walk percentage. Knorp is a very good player. And something that's very underrated about Knorp is his hitting ability. Knorp at .439 with 15 RBIs, 3 home runs, 18 hits, and a 1,300 OPS. You're getting a really good overall player with Jimmy Knorp. His pitching, I think, will improve. I think his hitting was pretty good last year. You might see a little more power because he didn't hit a home run against the starting quality pitcher last year. But even with Knorp, I mean, you're just getting a really good hitter with Knorp. And pitcher, too. All right, number 3 pick, Nick Saylor. Giving it an A. The reason why is because Nick Saylor is a beast. Best hitter in the draft. I really wanted to give this an A+ because I'm a huge Nick Saylor guy. But I mean, a .322 average, 22 RBIs, 7 home runs, 19 hits, 1,100 OPS. I don't know how that's so low. Like, I thought it would be higher than 1,100. You're looking at a really good player, an awesome player with Nick Saylor. The reason why the grade might go down a little bit is because he's not as great of a pitcher as Chadwick. And probably if you're doing a redraft, you're probably taking Chadwick here because of his pitching ability. I also think that Nick Saylor is just that good that it's still an A. Well, the next pick in the draft, the number 4 overall pick was Chadwick. I'm giving it an A-. Now, people disagree. They'll say, oh, how do you put him as the same grade as Jorgie? How do you put him below Saylor and Knorp? If you go over his stats, but I think that this was still a good pick because A- is still good, but not quite as good as the other two. Chadwick this year batted .323, which I believe was 2nd in the league. He had 20 hits. He walked 19 times with 16 RBIs, had a 1,000 OPS, and on the mound, he was decent. He definitely had a lot of walk issues, but in 36 innings, he had a 1.83 ERA, 84 strikeouts. He did have 60 walks, though, and he did give up 22 runs. And a 2.08 FIP isn't the best, but Chadwick was also 3rd in batting average against, .83, which is really good. So, I mean, you really gotta love Chadwick. A lot of those little advanced metrics like strikeout percentage, walk percentage, K to walk, they don't like him. But Chadwick as an offensive player and the guy that was the main guy on the mound and the main guy in the team last year for the Magic is why Chadwick is still an A-. All right, now, this one is going to get Mallards fans heated. Trevor Bonham, the number 5th overall pick, I'm giving it a C. Now, Trevor Bonham, I think, is being a little bit overrated by Mallards fans. I still think he's one of the most overrated players in the league. A lot of people don't realize it, but when a player is underrated, and then people keep saying they're underrated, they're not underrated anymore, really. So, I think at this point, Trevor Bonham is no longer underrated. And that is why I'm going to say, and not why I'm going to say he's a C. You cannot pass on Chris Cheetam for Trevor Bonham. Chris Cheetam is the better hitter, he's a better pitcher, and he values more to the team. Trevor Bonham last year, in terms of the advanced pitching metrics, which you can go check out that video, he wasn't great. Other than his walk percentage at 22%, everything else wasn't great. And on the offensive side, I mean, it wasn't good. He batted 185, he walked 12 times, and yes, he only batted in 9 games, but a 621 OPS. I could definitely see him improving, but I think he's being a little bit overrated. I'll be honest. And then on the pitching side, he pitched. This is where I like Bonham a little bit more. I think he has to expand in his arsenal because right now he really has a slider and a riser, and those are probably the 2 easiest pitches to hit. And he was the best pitcher on the Mallards last year in my eyes. He had 26 walks with a 1.59 ERA, a 1.99 whip in 22.2 innings with 50 strikeouts to go along with all those other numbers. Trevor, still a good player, but you can't take him over Chris Cheetam. The number 6, Chris Cheetam, no doubt, A+. This pick was the best pick in the draft, the steal of the draft, and I might make a video on how the Preds should have traded up for him because I really think they should have. But in 21 innings on the pitching side, he gave up only 9 earned runs, which is really good. And 5 of those came against the D-backs. He had a 1.29 ERA, 50 strikeouts. But you want to wait for these advanced metrics? You want to hear them? You want to hear them? Because they will absolutely blow your mind. He was 3rd in strikeout percentage with 52%, which he was only 3% behind number 1, which is Ryan Cratch. That's elite. He was number 1 in walk percentage with only 11%. The guy does not walk people. Yeah, he was 7th in opponent batting average with 135, but he doesn't walk a soul. So when you don't walk a soul, you're gonna give up more hits. That's really just how it works. And he didn't even give up that many hits. He's still a 135 opponent batting average is still pretty solid. And the strikeout to walk, he led with 41%. Chris Cheetam is a very good pitcher. People are really underrating Chris Cheetam right now. They say, oh, it's just the postseason performance, blah, 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 blah. Chris Cheetam's a beast, okay? I mean, 1.29 ERA, 1.14 whip. I mean, just to add on with his hitting numbers. In the postseason, 394 average, 6 home runs. I think he had he had 9 RBIs, 13 hits. I mean, a 1,400, almost 1,500 OPS. Chris Cheetam is amazing, and people really have to stop sleeping on him. And in the regular season, he was no slouch. He hit 224, which is solid. He had 9 RBIs, 3 home runs. Again, not amazing numbers, but solid numbers. The best stat, his OPS, 894. It shows he was really solid in the regular season. He was not elite. He was not amazing. He was not bad, though, but he was above average. And that's really what you're looking for. He was the best pick of the draft. You could argue he was the best player in the draft. And yeah, amazing pick. Number 7 and number 8 were an amazing pick. I mean, they weren't the best. But number 7, I mean, it's the Eagles' Max Tomalka, D-. I'm not going to go over his stats because he barely played. I give it a D-. Here's the reason why I give it a D- and not an F. Yes, they could have used James Swanson, and James Swanson's a lot better than Max Tomalka is. But the thing I worry is, what if Jonah Heath, because I think Jonah Heath may have been playing. If Nick Saylor or Jimmy Knorp is watching this video, or anybody that knows, and if Jonah Heath played in this tournament, this pick goes down to an F. Jonah Heath on the Eagles, that makes the Eagles a lot better. So I'm pretty sure Jonah Heath played at the tournament and went undrafted. but I'm not sure. I don't really. So that's why I gave it a D-. It still was not a good pick because they did take him over James Swanson. But if they took him over James Swanson and Jonah Heath, this pick becomes even worse. And with the 8th overall pick, James Swanson, I'm giving it a B-. Now, people say, how is Trevor Bonham's pick better than James Swanson's pick? Guess what? It's not. But what could the Preds have done there? If Jonah Heath, again, was in this draft, this pick goes down to a C-, probably. Maybe even lower. But James Swanson, you're getting a solid player out of him. He did not get on base well last year, but he's better than Tomalka. So for me, not knowing who the Preds missed on, that's what makes this pick just a B- and not below that. While the Mallards passed on Chris Cheetam. So there's a difference there. Trevor Bonham's going to impact the Mallards more than James Swanson's going to impact the Preds. But also, James Swanson fits the Preds' mold of play. And, I mean, who else could they have gotten there? Unless Jonah Heath was in this draft, which, again, I don't know if he was. And yeah, also, don't forget to check out Bobby Shan and Sidan Kaduja, both awesome creators. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.